Okay, says the Heilige Mishnah. Matzilin Tikas. Good morning, everyone. 116b over here. Kuf Ted Zayin Amud Bet at the Mishnah by the wide lines. Matzilin Tik a Sefer. You're allowed to save not only the Sefer Torah from the fire, but the Tik. The Tik is the casings of the Sefer, together with the Sefer. V'tik atfilin matfilin, and the tefillin's casings with the tefillin. You don't have to only save the tefillin. V'afal pi sheyesh betochan ma'ot, and even if besides the actual casing in the container there is money, and the money is muktzah, still you're allowed to save them. You don't have to throw the money out. We're going to see about that more in the Gemara. Now, really, you're not allowed to put money inside a case that has tefillin or Torah. So, either he made a tanai beforehand, he stipulated that he's allowed to, this is not being designated for tefillin, or it's talking about a case where he actually did it and he wasn't allowed to do it. But there's money in there, you don't have to throw the money out. And where could you save the tefillin with their casings and the money in there? We're going to see it in the Gemara. The Gemara will explain this machloket to a mavui. A mavui is like an alleyway that's in between the homes, right? There's homes with the chatzerot, right? You have homes, courtyards in front of the homes, another home with another courtyard, and it goes around like a cul-de-sac. And you have an alleyway in the middle. So there are some cul-de-sacs that get to they don't go through, they don't flush right through, they go through. And there's other ones that are, that go through. So the first, Tanakhama says, only to the Mavi she'ena mefulish. Only to one that is surrounded by three sides and it's not open. The Mitera Omer, that Hashem will see, after Mefulash, even to an open one, which will be stricter in halakha, the Chachamim relaxed the Isser and they allowed you to carry your tefillin or your Sefer Torah and the casings with the money inside, even to a Mefulash where it's open. So the Gemara now wants to prove something from a Braita in halachot of Pesach. We know that in Hilchot Pesach you have to bring a korban Pesach every year. The korban Pesach is doche Shabbat. It pushes away the isurim of Shabbat. You're allowed to slaughter it on Shabbat, and everything that goes to Hashem. So whatever you need to do, you're allowed to do. Your slaughtering is the mitzvah. You have to take the fats of the korban Pesach and burn them on the mizbeach, because otherwise the korban is not done properly. So whatever it needs to be done for the korban Pesach is done. And what about skinning the animal? So let's see the Braita here. Tanu Rabbanan, Aba'asa shechal liot b'Shabbat. Mafshitin et ha-Pesach ad ha-chezeh. You're allowed to skin it until its chest. Divrei Rabbi Yishmael ben Osher Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. These are the words of Yishmael ben Osher Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. Because how are you going to take out all the fats that you need to put on the mizbech? As long as you flay it up until the chazeh, that's enough for you to be able to take them out. Chachamim omrim mafshitin et kulo. Rabbi Yishmael ben Chacham says you can do the whole thing. Rabbi Yishmael ben Yisrael says the rest of the skinning wait till tonight. Tonight will be Motzei Shabbat. You'll finish skinning it all the way, and then you'll burn it. But the Chachamim said that you're allowed to do the whole thing. I understand, because whatever I needed, tzorech gavoa, whatever I needed to do for Hashem, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for the korban, was already done. And it's done once you go to the chazeh. You're able to remove everything else. Okay? El Rabbanon, my time, but why are the Rabbanon allowing more than tzorech gavoa? Tzorech gavoa means the needs of the high one, the needs of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have psukim that tell you that you're allowed to be doche Shabbat, but only whatever you need to do, l'tzorech, for the need of gavoa. So Rabbi Yishmael ben Ayush allows you to do whatever is tzorech gavoa, not more. But why did Rabbanon allow more? Omer Rabba Bar Bachana, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, the Omakrom, Kol Po'al Hashem L'Ma'aneyu. Everything Hashem has made and has done is L'Ma'aneyu, for His sake, for His honor. So the Gemara says, V'hochamai L'Ma'aneyu, so what type of honor is there if you skin the whole animal? Rabbi Yosef says, so the meat doesn't get spoiled. Okay? You need cool air reaching the meat. Because otherwise it just looks like a nevela, like a carcass. And it doesn't look like a piece of meat that's going to be l'chvoida, it's going to be eaten as a korban tonight. Okay, so Rashi says the ein ze kvoda liot pras ochle shulchano migual. Okay, so these are the reasons why Rav Yosef and Rava say that you're not allowed to leave it around like that. My benayu unskin. What's the difference? Ik benayu demanach abser dehava. If you put it on a golden table, inami yoimid istana, or if there's a northerly wind. So, Rashi says here, if you put it on a golden table, it doesn't look like a carcass that you're being mutal b'vizdorin, just like a dead animal lying there. Because you put it on a fancy table, so it looks like there's something chashuv about this. That Rava would be fine with it. And therefore, if you have that, then you wouldn't be able to skin it all the way. Right? But l'shema yastriach, there's still a problem. But for the fact that it might start smelling, there's still going to be a problem. Or if there's a northerly wind blowing, so it's a very, very good wind to blow. Even if there's going to be skin on top of the animal will not spoil. So there, Rabbi Yosef says that the Chachamim will be moide to, Rashi says to Rav Shalom ben Breka, that you're not allowed to skin it more than that. But according to Rava, you're still going to have to skin it all the way down even before it turns night. Says the Gemara, what does he do with this pasuk that says that everything Hashem has done is for His honor? Meaning, according to the Chachamim, everything you're allowed to do, as long as everything is considered for Hashem, as long as it's for His honor. So as long as I make the korban nicer, better, so that it doesn't spoil, or so that it doesn't look like a carcass, that's all part of the mitzvah of bringing the korban. What does he do with that pasuk? So the Gemara says, "Shelo yotzei seimun kodim afshat asar." Don't just remove the emurin. Emurin means the parts that are said by the Torah that need to be burnt on the mizbech. Don't remove those parts without flaying the animal. Let's say I know where those parts are, so I just make a cut, incision, and I remove the parts. That wouldn't be, that wouldn't be honorable. It's degrading. So, my timer. Why? Because when you're going to draw them out of the holes when you take them out, the animal here, which is all over the animal, since you haven't flayed it, will get all over the parts, and therefore will be degrading. And therefore, that's how he learns the pshat. Okay, now the Gemara wants to know like this. Now, what does it have to do with us? So far, nothing, right? Omer Rav Chizda, Omer Mar Ukva. Maya hadu lechavrai leBishua B'Reish Rabbi Yochanan ben Breka. What did they answer B'Shua B'Reish Rabbi Yochanan ben Breka? The Chachamim knew that there was, the Rav Chizda knew in the name of, he was telling Maroko, he knew that there was something else that they told him. What was that? So the Gemara says, Hochi Kamile. They said, if you're allowed to save this casing of the Sefer Torah together with the Sefer Torah, even though there's money inside of it, shouldn't we be allowed to skin the whole animal? Why? Because what's the whole purpose? Why are you allowed to save your Sefer Torah with the casing? Because
the whole thing is kedusha, no?
Well, the money doesn't have kedusha.
With the casing, you said.
The casing you're allowed to save, but the casing doesn't have the kedusha. Let's say the casing will be there alone. Would you be allowed to save it?
Isn't that the same thing as the parchment we were saying yesterday?
No, not the same thing as the parchment, because parchment is at least parchment. The Gemara is only, the Mishnah only says you're allowed to save the casing together with the Sefer Torah. Right. But if the casing's there alone, you wouldn't be allowed to save it. So what's the answer? The answer is that that you're right, that it's an honor to the Sefer Torah. So even though they themselves don't have enough kedusha, that you could save it. And not only that, you could save it with money inside. So what's going on over here? That means that not only is it going to be benefiting the holiness, the kedusha of the svarim, but it's going to be benefiting the owner of the sefer as well, because he's going to be saving his money. And yet you're allowed to do it.
When you say put money in the casing, you physical money putting in the casing with the Torah?
There's money in the casing of the Torah, yeah. Let's say you did that. Now, were you allowed to do that? No. Or maybe you were allowed to do because you stipulated that the casing shouldn't really be designated for the Torah alone. There is such a way to do it. I mean, obviously today we don't do such a thing. We make it for the Torah and we don't put those things in. But let's say it was done. Let's say a story happened. There was like a bag, like a sack where the Sefer Torah was inside. You had money in there as well. You weren't even allowed to do it, maybe. Right. Yet, when you save it, even though there's two benefits here, there's a dual benefit, you're allowed to do it. So, now, what's going on by the carbon? So, by the carbon, who's gaining by the fact that you flay the whole thing? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's getting his parts. He's getting his parts already. You could go down to the chazet, to the chest. You don't need to do more. The answer is, but you're allowed to do it even though it's going to be a fresher and you're going to gain. Man himself will gain to have a better piece of meat. Okay? But the Rabbi Moshe holds that when it says Kol Po'al Hashem Levanehu, it has to be that the kavod, the honor that you're giving to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is solely for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But let's say the honor also benefits man. That's not 100% Levanehu. So if you're speaking about the parts that go on the Mizbeach and they're going to get hairy, that has only to do with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's called Po'al Hashem Levanehu. So that's why you're allowed to, that's why even though I would be able to technically take out the parts by just making an incision, you could do more than that. Because it's for HaKadosh Baruch Hu solely. But if what you're doing benefits man as well, okay, then Rabbi Moshe doesn't allow it. So the Gemara is showing so the Chacham are showing, they're saying it's not true. Because even on Shabbat, you're allowed to save, as long as you're allowed to save it. You say, one second, I can't save it because the money's muktzah. I'm going to be over on the money isser. So maybe I should leave it. Teretz is for the sake of the Sefer Torah, save it and relax the isser of muktzah. And even though you're going to gain out of it, even though it's going to be for you, there's two benefits here. So therefore, you see that two benefits is still allowed and still is kol pashim l'maneh. So the Gemara says, how could you compare it? That was what the Chacham told Rabbi Shmuel ben Eichel Rabbi Yochanan. Frek the Gemara, they asked the Gemara, what type of comparison? Midami, hasam tiltul, hacham alacha. There, the whole isser is just muktzah. But here, when you skin, being mafshit is a malacha. So the fact that you're being makel and lenient in regards to isser de rabbanan, well, how could you compare that to malacha? Amar Rav Ashi, so Rav Ashi says no. Bitarti pligi. Really what happened was, they had two machloket. They argued pligi betiltul, upligi b'malacha. They said they had two separate arguments about muktzah and about a malacha. Okay? Besides the issue that the machloket that we saw about skinning, they had a machloket about muktzah. This is what they told Rabbi Shmuel ben Noisha Rabbi Yochanan ben Brek. Im matzilin tikas sefer masechet lo yintatal oir agav basar. There's two inyanim here. There's another topic going on over here by the skinning. That what? That according to Rabbi Shmuel ben Noisha Rabbi Yochanan ben Brek, you're not allowed to move the animal at all. Why? Because once you already skinned it up to the chazeh and you removed its parts to be able to put them on the mizbeach, so why are you moving the animal? What do you need from this animal? You only eat it tonight. And you're only going to roast it tonight. So the animal's muktzah. It's just a dead animal over here. You say, well, tonight it's going to be for Motzei Shabbat, it's going to be we're going to do the mitzvah of eating the Korban Pesach. So wait till tonight, you can't move it now. Now, the Chacham say, no, you're allowed to move it, because the Chacham are saying that since it's going to get spoiled, and it's not going to be with kavod, so you're allowed to move it. Okay? So the Gemara says like this, so that they told him on that point, if you're allowed to move the tikas sefer for the purpose of saving the Sefer Torah, even though there's money and you're moving muktzah, now the truth is that the basar itself is not really muktzah, but it's the oir, the hide, that's muktzah. Because the hide hasn't been tanned or worked on, just a piece of raw hide. Now, why is the basar not muktzah? Because the basar can't be eaten now. It can't be eaten until you roast it. And you can't roast it on Shabbat. So why is it not muktzah? Why is it not muktzah? What could you do with this meat? I'm not sure why the meat is not muktzah, but the meat is right now not muktzah. But says the Gemara, but you should be able to move the or, which is muktzah, agav the basar, because of the meat. Okay? So now, just like you are what? Allowed to be over on muktzah. And you're allowed to be over on carrying into Issa D'Rabban on a mavui. Okay? Just for the sake of the fear that what? For the kavod of the Sefer Torah, because otherwise you might lose some time and you might lose the whole Sefer Torah because it's going to burn. So now they relaxed Isurim even on the tik and even on the money and everything. Agav, by the way, because of the Sefer, the main thing. So too, you should be able, said the Chachamim to Reb Shalom, to move the whole animal, because even though you're moving muktzah, because of the kavod of the animal. So the Gemara says, Midami, Hasa nase basel l'davra muter, Hacha nase basel l'davra aser. By the Sefer Torah's casing, okay, is a basis, is a base to what? To something that's mutter. That's the Sefer Torah itself. But here, by the Korban Pesach, the oil is really being a basis to something that's the Gemara's Kasha is what I just asked you, that the basar is still muktzah. Because what is a basis? A basis means a base. And we know the halacha is, we've learned it before in Shabbat, that the base of an item, if it's serving the item, right? Whatever the item is, the base is going to evolve into that. So if the base of, let's say, a ner is going to be muktzah, okay, because it's holding something that's muktzah, a fire. So the lamp bowl is going to be muktzah because it's going to be a basis of davra aser. So here too, says the Gemara, the base of the meat, which is muktzah, says the Gemara, is the hide.
Why would the base of the meat be muktzah?
No, the base of the hide. The base of the meat, is muktzah because it's nasid basis l'davar ha'aser. What is the base of how are you moving all this? How are you moving this? The skin. The skin is a base to something that's muktzah. So what is the Gemara's kasha here? So let's look at this Rashi here on top. This hide has become a base to something that is entirely forbidden to be moved. Because the meat is forbidden to be moved to the Pesach, because it's not fitting to be eaten until tonight. Because it can only be eaten tonight and roasted. Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Shmuel doesn't hold that l'ma'anehu, kol pa Hashem l'ma'anehu, is kavod shemaim, when there's a dual purpose, when it's going to be eaten by a person. Only things that go onto the mizbeach is considered l'ma'anehu. Ve'afilu have a oir toras kliyolov, and even if the oir would not be muktzah, meaning it would be a keli, mitzvah, it would be prohibited. We should have a basis l'isr, because it itself is a base to something that is asr. The choshkein, and all the more so now, the hu gufei lav bar titulu, that it itself, forget about being a base to the meat, which is muktzah, but it itself is an item that's muktzah. However, in the case of the base, the casing to the Sefer Torah, the casing is a basis to a davar that's mutter, because it's a base to something that's permitted to be moved, which is the Sefer Torah, which is not muktzah. And the casing itself is also not a muktzah item. So therefore, there's no comparison. So the Gemara doesn't like this comparison. It can't be that's what the Chacham told Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yechon. Says the Gemara, Elohochi kamile. This is what the Chacham said to Rabbi Shmuel. If you're allowed to save the casing, even though there's money, so now there's a real case of muktzah because there's money in there. So you should also be able to move the case, the skin, the hide, agav the basar. Now, what in the world is the Gemara talking about, right? You're saying that you let him move the muktzah because of the item that is not muktzah. So too, you should be able to move the animal, even though you're moving the muktzah hide, because of the basar that's not muktzah. But the Gemara just finished saying that the basar is muktzah. So the Rishonim asked this kasha. And the Gemara and the Rishonim say that the Gemara understood now that if something is a basis to two things, one that's muktzah and one that's not muktzah. So then what happens is that everything becomes muktzah. So now, how in the world are you allowed to move the casing over here? The casing is serving two purposes. What is it holding? It's a casing for the Torah, and it's a casing, it's a bag for the money. So let everything become muktzah agav the money. So why doesn't it? Must be because l'ma'aneu, to the honor of the Sefer Torah, everything is relaxed. All these Yisurim go away, and you're allowed to now save the Sefer Torah. So therefore says the Chachamim to Rabbi Shmuel ben Oish, Rabbi Yechon and Breika, therefore that when you pull the animal and you're moving the hide, so what are you saying? That you're worried because the skin of the animal is now buses to the meat. It doesn't matter. Since you're saving it for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it doesn't mean agav the basar that's not muktzah. You know what that means? When it says move the muktzah animal, the skin. Agav the basar, it doesn't mean because the basar is not muktzah. It means because the basar is the korban of Hashem. So the chvodo, you can relax the Easter of muktzah, just like we see by Sefer. So the Gemara says, still it's not a comparison. Why? Midami, there at least the reason why we relax the Easter of l'chvoid Hashem is only when at least the Easter of muktzah is not that bad, because it's a basis to two things. But here it's a basis to the davar ha'asr, to the meat. Right? The Gemara knew that the whole time that it was, but the Gemara thought that l'chvoida you could still do it. But the Gemara says it's not a comparison. Rather, they told him the following. You're allowed to take a tick that's in the house that's not even holding the Sefer Torah. Let's say I know that in the next room, in order for me to save the Sefer Torah, I need, and to really take it well, to grab it well, you're allowed to grab another bag that's not holding it yet. And the bag is only a basis l'davar ha'asr, only. Just like the case of the carbon, where the hides are only a basis to the meat, and it's muktzah, because at the time that you find the bag, there's only one thing in the bag, nothing mutter, only money. Yet you're allowed to grab it with the money inside it, and put the Sefer Torah inside it. So shouldn't we be able to move the hide with the meat? Vihigu from an olam. Okay, now you got a good comparison. That's a good time of the Chacham. But how did the Chacham know that you're allowed to do such a thing? Our Mishnah doesn't say Matil and Tikka Sefer in the room. It says Matil and Tikka Sefer ima Sefer. What's the case? So the Gemara says, if you're going to tell me that when there's money in this tick, if you tell me that whenever there's money inside the tick, so you're allowed to move the whole tick, and you don't have to throw out the money, I see my sinon. Since I'm always allowed to do it when there is a Sefer Torah inside, so you're also allowed to bring it over, midami. In the case of the Mishnah, if we tell him to throw out the money, then in the meantime the fire is going to burn it. But over here, while he's moving it, means like this. If you have the Sefer Torah, very simple. Let's say you have it in a bag over here. This is the Sefer Torah, this is the money. So if there's a fire, and the Chacham say, wait, you gotta shake out the money, because there's muktzah here. Then you can take it out. So he's gonna shake out the money, and then grab the thing. He might get burnt by that time. But if we're telling you, fine, so that's why you like to take everything. But how could you derive from there that if the bag is right over there, you see the bag is in the corner or in the next room, and has money inside of it, you're allowed to just continue with the money and put the Sefer Torah in if you need a bag to take the Sefer Torah out. On the way over from the next room, don't tell me losing precious seconds, because in those, anyways, you need those seconds to get the bag to the Sefer Torah. In those seconds, empty out the money. So who told the Chachamim such a halacha? If they knew of such a halacha, then they could tell Rabbi Shmuel they would have a comparison to the case of the Korban Pesach. But where they derive this halacha from? So the Gemara says, Elo Omer Bar Vashi L'Olam Kedar Mina Mikara. Really, they only argue about one thing. They're not arguing about muktzah at all. We're going back to the first teretz, all the way back at the beginning. The only machlokes between them is, are you allowed to skin it more than the chazeh or not? Okay? And the only proof that they were bringing, the proof was that since you're allowed to save the money with the Sefer Torah, that's what our Mishnah says. We're not talking about a case where you get the bag from the other room. We're going back to the case of the Mishnah, where the money and the Sefer Torah are in the bag already. And the Chacham said, look, you're allowed to be over on muktzah for the kavod of the Sefer Torah. So therefore you should also be allowed to do an act on Shabbat, even though it's not permitted on Shabbat, for the sake of the kavod of the korban. Why is it kavod for the korban? Because it might get spoiled, or because it's not kavod to be lying there. And you asked me a major kasha. That was the first kasha we asked. When we thought it was just an Indian about flaying, that flaying is being mafshit, is isur melacha d'oraita, right? Whereas over here, in our Mishnah, it's only isur d'rabbanon of muktzah. So we're talking about that you don't need the or. So it's a davar, either she'ena miskaven. Okay? And since I don't really want the oil, that's not what I want. I don't want to do anything with the oil. So flaying it more, and I'm not going to use the oil, I'm not going to get anything out of the oil, is a davar she'ena miskaven, and according to Reb Shimon, it's mutter. So therefore, it's mutter. So the Gemara says, didn't Abaya and Rava say, the Gemara always mentions this, that Reb Shimon is moide b'psikreisha v'lo. So the Gemara says, the shokele bevarsi. We're talking about the Chachamim allow him to do it when he removes it in thin strips. What happens is, since you're not doing it in a normal way, so therefore, even if you say, so therefore, you're not going to be over more than an Issa D'Rabbanan, because you're skinning in an unnormal fashion. So really, what's going on over here? It looks like a malacha she'ena tzricha legufa more than anything else. That's what many achreinim ask. When I take a 10-15 second break, just want to get a tissue for a second. fine. No, don't get. I'm just wondering. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara. Where are you allowed to save them to? So we had a machloket. If you're allowed to save them to a mavoi mefulash or mavoi she'en mefulash, an open alleyway that's only surrounded by two sides, or an alleyway that's surrounded by three sides. So the truth is that really a mavoi that is eina mefulash, that is not open, and it's surrounded on all three sides by homes and by courtyards, that is really midoraita. You're allowed to carry in such a thing because it's surrounded by three walls. Thank you so much. Toda rabah. I don't have to make a bracha. Okay. So therefore you're really allowed to carry in such a mavui, but the Chachamim said you can't carry in such a mavui because people are going to mistakenly carry from the Rishut HaRabim into the mavui. They're not going to know the difference. Okay? So, there's another issue also. To carry from the Rishut HaYachid, from your homes, into the mavui, since the mavui is owned by everybody, and your house is only owned by yourself. So the Chacham also said that in order to carry into the mavui, there's another isser, that you have to make sure that the mavui now is also like owned by, it's like one unit. It's not owned by. So what do? So what they do is they take the houses and they make a shitu from voice. How do they do that? They collect bread from everybody and they put it in one of the houses, or in the case of a mavui, they put it in one of the chatzerot, in the courtyards. So really that means that everybody lives, lahalacha, everybody lives in that one spot. Because look, our food is there. So this is our central point. This is our real, this is where we live. Now that we live in one place, so now carrying, everything is owned by everybody. And therefore carrying from the chatzar to the mavui would be mutter. So now, says the Gemara, Echidami mefulish, echidami she'enu mefulish. Omer Rav Chisda, Sholish mishchitzos u'shnei luchayayin zeu mavui she'enu mefulish. If you have three mechitzot around it, and two luchayayin, but sholish mechitzot v'lechi echad zeu mavui ha'mefulish. What you do is like this. If you have two sides that are surrounding, two walls of houses that are surrounding this alleyway, and then you have two posts. Lechis are just vertical sticks on each side of the entrance. That's considered like you closed off that side that was open, and it's an unopened mavui. Okay? And our Mishnah it can't be talking about over here. Mefulish cannot be talking about, the Gemara holds at least now, it can't be talking about totally open, only on two sides. The Gemara holds you're not allowed to save something into such an area. So what would mefulish mean then? Mefulish must mean that it only has one lechi on one side. It has three mechitzot, and on the fourth side, there's only one lechi instead of two lechis. Okay? So, 100%, the only thing you could save into is when all three sides are surrounded, and the fourth side is open. So one of them said you could save it, Tanakama, only into a mavui that is eina mefulish, because you have two lechis on the fourth side. And the other man, the Amar, says, Ben Beseira said, even if there's only one lechi there, that's going to be enough as well. Says the Gemara, "V'tavayu aliba de Rabbi Eliezer," and they're both going according to Rabbi Eliezer. Why? Because the Tanam hechshemov v'beishamei oimim lechi v'koiro u'beisul oimim oy lechi oy koiro, and Beisilul says oy lechi oy koiro. So Rabbi Eliezer oimim shnei l'chayim. Lechi oy koiro means either a standing stick or a kora, a beam on top. Rabbi Eliezer's opinion, however, is that you need two l'chayim standing there. So according to Rabbi Eliezer, the only way to close this off is with two l'chayim. So you're telling me that what mefulish in this Mishnah means is one lechi? That's a very, how could you call that mefulish, opened? Now, according to the Rabbanon, that only allow you to carry into a Einoi Mefulish, and you told me what is Einoi Mefulish, that on the fourth side is the only side that's open, and you have two posts, so that's 100% closed now. So why would you only be allowed to save a Sefer Torah into there? You should be able to save any item, even Ochlin or Mashkin. It's 100% closed off lahalacha. So therefore, Rabbah does not like Rav Chizda's pshat. Elo Amar Rabbah, shtei mechitzah to shnei l'chayim zeh u'mav she'enem mefulish. We're talking about it has two sides that are closed. And then there's two l'chayim. You have one stick on one open entrance and one stick on the other open entrance, one post. That would be called eino mefulish. It's not going through and through. That's where the Chachamim said you could only save a Sefer Torah. But shtei mechitzas v'lechi echad zeh mavia mefulish. But if there's only one lechi, then they wouldn't allow you. And that's where Rabbi Torah was makel and lean that he allowed. V'tavayu aliba de Rabbi Yehuda, and they're both going according to Rabbi Yehuda's shita, the Tanya. Yeser al kain. Rabbi Yehuda said even more so. Rabbi Yehuda, mish yesh leishnei batim mishnei tzidi rishus harab. Someone has two houses on two opposite sides of the Rishut Harabim. So lechi mikan, the lechi mikan. You make a lechi here and a lechi there, at the other end of the houses. Or you put a beam here and a kaira there. And you're allowed to carry through the Rishut Harabim. Meaning to say, it's going to work not only for the fourth side. Rabbi Yehuda is saying you could use a lechi or a kaira even if it's open on both sides. You can't make a erev in Rishus Harabim with lechis or kairas just to enclose a street between the houses. So the Gemara is saying now that the Chachamim in our Mishnah hold like Rabbi Yehuda, and they're saying if you do that with this mavui, so now it's considered like Rabbi Yehuda a complete enclosure, which would allow even in Rishut Harabim, and that's why you're allowed to save. But you can't do it if you only do it to one side. But Mitera is even more lenient. So and Mitera says that Yehuda would allow it even if there was only one lechi for the sake of the Sefer Torah. So the Gemara says, according to the Chachamim, where you're doing the best job for Rabbi Yehuda, because you're putting two lechis, so then you should be able to save. Let him save whatever he wants. Elo Omar Rav Ashi, you have three sides, like we said before, but only one lechi. That's not mefulish, because you closed it off. Three mechitzas without a lechi at all. That is a mavia mefulish. And even according to Rabbi Eliezer, that says you need two. For Sefer Torah, we're going with Rabbi Eliezer's shita. The an ordinary mavi needs three walls and two lechis. But Rabbi Eliezer is being makel. They both agree here that Rabbi Eliezer is going to be makel to save a Sefer Torah. And all you need for the Sefer Torah is what do you need? So the Chachamim say, you don't need two, Rabbi Eliezer says, but you need one. And the Beseder says, you don't need it all. But of course, you can't save Eichlin Umashkin. So we'll stop over here, B'ezrat Hashem. Chazak Baruch.
Thank you.
Regular days, you can prepare food from regular days for Shabbat. From regular days to Yom Tov. What's going to be the halakha if you prepare food from Shabbat to a holiday?
David, you turn off the